Question 3 also sounds like a unit circle question because 3 pi over 2 is the spot on the unit circle. So just like questions 1 and 2 here, your first task is to figure out where this lands. And this should be a spot that you just straight up have memorized for the unit circle. But if you don't, you can take something like knowing where 1 pi over 2 is, add it again to get 2 pi over 2, add it again to get to 3 pi over 2. But you have to find that location. And then second step in all unit circle questions is you have to know the point here. So you're going 0 left to right and 1 down because this is unit circle. And then as long as this is a point on the unit circle, cosine is the x value because cosine is x over r. So if r is 1, when it's the unit circle, cosine is just x. And sine is y over r. So if r is 1, like it is on the unit circle, then sine is the y value, so -1. Then of course with reciprocal identities, cosecant should just be the reciprocal of -1. If you flip -1 over, you get -1. You try to flip over 0, you're dividing by 0, which is not possible. To get tangent, we need to use the quotient identity, sine over cosine. So that would be -1 over 0. Again, we can't divide by 0, so that's not possible. These two are always undefined at the same times. Secant is like 1 over cosine, tangent is like sine over cosine. So anytime cosine is 0, those two are undefined. And then this one is the one that concerns me a little bit because sometimes you guys, I know you know that cotangent's the reciprocal of tangent, but when tangent's undefined, sometimes you kind of hit a wall here because how do you do reciprocal of undefined? You should be using the other cofunction, or I'm sorry, the other quotient identity. Cotangent's the same thing as cosine over sine. And 0 divided by -1 is 0. So that's how you should get those 6. And again, just another test taking strategy. If you check all of these in your calculator as you see them in the test, you could very likely run out of time and not finish all the questions. But when you finish the test and you've got an extra 5 or 10 or 15 minutes or so, you could throw a couple of these into the calculator to make sure that it's matching up with what you get. Or, of course, spend more time on the question.